What up, all my Koala Khalifas? It's Melder here, and I'm going to talk to you about my top 5 future operators. Okay, guys, so today we're going to be talking about my top 5 most wanted upcoming future operators to the game. So these are operators that are currently live in CN or the Chinese server, but are not live for us in global. I just want to put a little disclaimer at the start of the video saying that this isn't the top 5 best operators or most meta characters that you should be saving for. These are just 5 characters that I really like, that get me excited, and I want to talk about them. And maybe you will also end up liking these operators after we learn a bit more about them. We are going to start with the 5th place slot, which is the 5-star Vamp Guard Akafuyu. Now, if you guys don't know what a Vampire Guard is, it's a character that has lifesteal, meaning they take HP or gain HP as they do damage. She cannot be healed by allies, so she's very similar to Utage and Helliger, also enemy defenders like Vulcan or Mudrock, and she also gains attack speed as she loses HP. So the less HP she has, the faster she's going to attack, and the faster she's going to get lifesteal off. Now, she has 2 skills. The first one is a pretty unique skill. I think it's similar to Flint, who's a 5-star Brawler Guard, where she reduces her block count to 0, but she gains an attack buff, and then she also has the dual strike mechanic, similar to Chen and Cutter, where they hit twice. Now, I love this character's design. The samurai aesthetic is so sick to me, so I am very much looking forward to her. In terms of strength, I'm not sure how good she'll be. I think it really depends on her skill 2. And her skill 2, she loses 50% HP, similar to Utage's skill 2, but she gains a 1-layer shield. This shield can fully take 1 instance of damage. It's very similar to Neon's talent, or kind of similar to Gravel, and this skill or shield disappears after the skill ends, and she also gets an attack and defense steroid as well. Next up is the 4th place spot, and my favorite 5-star in Arknights. It is Robin. Robin is the first of the new sub-archetype, the Trapper Specialist. It's kind of a different version of summoners. Basically, they could put down a set number of traps, and those traps need to be placed preemptively, meaning they can't be put where an enemy is currently occupying. Now, her skill 1 and her skill 2, when activated, they give her a trap back. They recycle traps, so she'll always have a good amount to use. Her skill 1 is a nuke plus a 2-second bind at skill 7, and her skill 2 is a nuke and also a shift. At skill 7, it's medium force, but at M3, it's large force. So if you pair that with a character like Angelina and some other shifters, you can do some pretty funny stuff. Now, I think overall, both this character's skills are going to be solid. She does seem pretty niche overall, but very, very fun to use. Now, what's great about this character is she is a welfare unit, meaning we get her for free. All you got to do is just complete or work on the event and use event currency for her. So she's basically free. Now, if you want this character and you want to know what event you're going to need to play, it is the Mountain event, the Prison Break event, coming probably right after a contingency contract Cinder hits us. So anyone on global, we're probably going to get her pretty soon. I am pre-farming her as we speak, and very much looking forward to her. Next up is the 6-star shifter, Gladea. Gladea gets my 3rd place spot. I'm super hyped for this character because she just screams Bloodborne and like Lady Maria or Old Hunter vibes, and it's just so sick. She is an Abyssal Hunter, meaning she gets an Abyssal Hunter faction buff. It is 1.5 max HP per second at E1 and then 2.5 at E2. She also does damage reduction of a whopping 25% physical and arts. Now, this talent would be absolutely ridiculous, but it only is versus Seaborn enemies. So it's kind of niche, but overall, it can be pretty strong, especially with the faction characters up. Now, her second talent is she does bonus damage to any characters that are less than or equal to a weight unit of 5 or 3 rather. So that is a pretty fair amount of enemies in the game. A lot of enemies are less than or equal to 3, so she's going to be bursting down some of these lighter enemies. Now, all 3 of her skills, I think, have some sort of use. Her skill 1 can hold charges, and even though it's an auto skill, it does pull at a decent rate. Her skill 2 is also a physical damage pull. It prioritizes blocked enemies and does damage to them as well. So it's pretty solid. What's really great about this is it is range and 2 enemies. So she does get a multi-pull, and it can be pretty far out. This is like bigger than Cliff Art and bigger than Rope. And her skill 3 is absolutely sick. So she puts a bind on a faraway enemy. It creates this tornado on it. The tornado decreases movement speed. It does arts damage, which is very nice. And it also can pull them to a maximum of large force. Now, there isn't any like weedy levels of force, which is a bit upsetting, but large force can definitely be really strong, especially with characters like Angelina. So expect some really goofy Gladio plus Mint combos online. I think that would be really funny. If you guys are trying to get this character, I have some really great news for you. She is a welfare 6-star and the first welfare 6-star we'll ever be getting. She is coming out with the Scotty, Alter, and Calcit banner, which is really nice, similar to Akafuyu. So it is going to be a ways away. But regardless, we get a welfare 6-star, and she looks really solid. So definitely stay tuned for more of her. The second place slot might surprise some of you guys because this is the one and only 4-star character on this list. This is Pinecone. She is a boomstick sniper, a shotgun sniper, so she has a very limited range, but she does a fair amount of damage, to say the least. Now, she attacks all enemies in the range at the same time, so she has really great AoE potential. And she does bonus damage to enemies in the row directly ahead of her. Now, if you've never seen a boomstick sniper, this is their range at E0, and this is the range at E1. So it's like this rectangle right in front of them. And now this first row touching the character is going to do bonus damage. She has self SP recovery. So as the match is going on, when you deploy her, she's going to be gaining SP every second, which is quite nice. And it will help synergize with her first skill especially. Now, her skill 1, it holds charges. Now, this is the most important part because she does a nuke, a mini nuke in that AoE in her range, and it ignores a set amount of enemy's defense. So this is really strong. Like, snipers in general have a little hard time against high armor targets, but with some skill like this, she's actually able to kind of shred through them. And you can spam this with charges, which is super cool looking. Her skill 2, it reduces her range to only the sweet spot range on her because of her trait. And she also gains a percentage of attack as she uses the skill. It has a max stack of 60%. My number 1 and most wanted operator goes to the 6-star Vanguard Saga. Saga is a 2-block Vanguard, so she's DP on skill, which is quite nice. She has 2 talents like all 6-stars do. Her first one is, instead of killing an enemy, she reduces them to 1 HP. They become crippled and are marked. She cannot kill crippled or marked enemies, but if an ally kills them, they will gain SP from that. So she's really solid SP battery type character, which is great for the Vanguard class as well. Her second talent is when she hits falls below an HP threshold of 40%, she gets evasion and HP regen as well. It's very similar to Blaze's kind of Yapapa Berry heal burst talent. because it can only be activated once per stage. Now, her 3 skills, I would say her skill 1, it's really basic. It's just the normal DP generator skill. Her skill 2, on the other hand, this is definitely her bread and butter. She gets 4 DP, and now 4 DP is kind of low, but hear me out. She does physical damage, which is nice. She hits multiple enemies, and she executes any crippled enemies as well. So, super, super sick samurai shit going on here. The animation looks dope as well. Yeah, 4 DP is low, but you have to remember this is a charge skill. Now, at skill 7, it has 2 charges, but only at M3, it gets 3 charges. So that's going to be really strong value. You could think of it instead of it being 12 DP when you activate the skill 3 times. Now, her skill 3 is this, she like sends out this attack wave in front of her with increased range. It does hit equal to her block count, so 2 without neon, 3 with neon. She also gains DP over time, but it's a larger amount, so it's about equal in terms of DP gain. And she also gets an attack steroid as well. Overall, I think her skill 2 is better, but her skill 3 is definitely pretty solid as well. Now, if you guys are looking forward to this character like me and want to know when you'll be able to get her, she is on the banner for the 1.5 year anniversary. It's probably going to be the 1.5 anniversary for us in EN, which is around June, July, August-ish. So it's in a couple months still. This character is on banner, so you're going to have to pull for her. She is on banner with the limited 6-star AoE caster Dusk. And it's going to be hard. Since it's a limited banner, they're going to give us free pulls, but I definitely recommend saving for these characters. They're both really cool. And Yostar Hypergriff tend to make the non-limited 6-star on banner extremely strong. Like Ock was a bit of an exception, but Wheaty's really good. Mudrock is absolutely ridiculous. Saga's strong, and Calcit is going to be one of the most broken characters in the game, I bet. But yeah, overall, save for them. You still have a few months, and yeah, I mean, this character is just so cool looking. The fall leaves, the E2R is just amazing. The after images are really cool, and it's just all black samurai dog lady. Gotta love it. Now, if I did not mention any of the characters that you guys are looking forward to, you can check them out on the A-Ship Toolbox, and you can see all the characters up to even what CN has. A few characters that I definitely am looking forward to but didn't mention are Ash, the Rainbow Six collab limited 6-star, Dusk, the AoE caster, as well as Heavy Rain, who is a welfare defender character. Overall, looking forward to all these characters. I think they're really cool, but I wanted to make a concise 5 operator list. If you guys have any questions or want to talk Archetypes at all, feel free to hit them up in the comments or maybe join me in Twitch chat. I stream almost every morning, so I would love to see you guys there. And once again, I just want to say thank you guys all so much for watching all the YouTube videos. I'm going to keep making guides, and your kind words really motivate me to keep working and doing it. So thank you all so very much. That's going to be it for me, guys. Hopefully this video is a bit fun and interesting, a bit change of pace. But yeah, thank you guys all once again, and peace out.